Y'all got any of them paint brushes?
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer from SpikyBits.com, and we got paintbrushes. Game Envy sent us over a set of their new Armory brush series. That's Kolinsky Sable. They're priced pretty much the same as everybody else out there on the market, and we'll compare them to some of the Bombwex from Creature Caster / Monument, and some Kolinsky Sables from Winsor Newton as well, which I think are kind of like, hey, I'm buying a really good brush. And if you didn't do one of those Kickstarter things, then these are probably three of the brushes that your lines that you'll probably consider as something that you're going to hold on to and use throughout your painting career, which is kind of the intention of these lines out there. Sure, you can go to Walmart, you can go to Michael's, you can buy the crap brushes and keep buying those and keep using those. But when you're ready to kind of spend some money, and they are expensive, I think this set goes for $40, then this is kind of where you want to be in that mid-level, and maybe not like that $10 to $15 to $20 a brush kind of higher end Series 7 from Winsor Newton, which I'll just spoiler alert, you don't even have to watch the rest of the video. These all work pretty much the same, in my opinion. They're all great brushes, all great quality. It just kind of depends at availability, and also kind of like the customer service side of things, but also maybe in some of the sizes you're looking for, which Winsor Newton obviously isn't exactly miniature friendly, whereas the other two companies that I mentioned, especially Game Envy and of course Monument, are miniature hobbyist friendly. So let's jump over to Game Envy's site and talk about that. We also have the brush bastion to show you as well if you're looking for an excellent way to store your brushes when you're not using them on your tabletop. So here's the Game Envy site, and you're probably already like, oh yeah, I remember them. They do the hobby holders. They sell the wet palette, the Masterson wet palettes. They also have the endless water pots. I think it's called well refill or something like that. Rinse well, there you go. Or aka your paint toilet, as everybody likes to call it in stream right there. But they got more newer products here. They have their own line of brushes. Like I said, the Artist Arsenal Armory 5-piece brush set. Now what makes this different from some of the other folks we have talked about, it's pretty much the same price as Monument Games' Igniters, which I think they're both $39.99, $39, somewhere around in there, whatever. It comes with 5 brushes. You're going to get, now this one's a little different. It goes from double aught up to size 2, where the Monument Hobbies one goes from, I think, double aught up to size 3. But if I remember correctly, I think they said something about they may be the actual size, they just did the numbering different. But needless to say, like I said, you can stop the video right here. They both work just as good as each other, as far as I can tell. But I want to use them. I'm going to show them to you. I think they're both great products. The thing that's a little bit different, product-wise, that you're going to get one of the brush beams, which is pretty neat. It's that little sawhorse kind of thing you see the brushes resting on here, and you're probably like, what is that? Well, that's so when you put your brushes down on your paint table, they don't mash their bristles, because sometimes if it isn't exactly flat, then the bristles mash, and that leads to more issues. They pull back the little clamps right there that hold them together, and then more dirt and stuff can get in there, and it can lead to a bunch of issues, not to mention messing up your bristles just in general. So it's great to actually rest them on this and give them a little bit of so they can just not only air out but also not get crushed. So this is the 5-piece set right here, and you can check it out over at the Game Envy. And then also what we're going to show you real quick is the brush bastion, which I think is pretty neat. It's a great little way to have your brushes, and it can be placed up or down. It's $12. They used to be MDF. Now they got some really dope high quality acrylic. And I'm going to show this to you here in a second, but you can kind of see in the pictures here that you can either lay it down or you can stand it up, whichever you prefer. And again, it's going to keep your bristles from getting mashed and give you something kind of nice to have on your desktop. Like you're displaying your swords for your hobby right there. It's pretty neat. So let's jump into using these things as well. So the product itself comes in a little very secure tube, and if you want to just store it like this, where you know, the life of your painting career, you probably could. It's pretty high quality. The little rubber stoppers here are very, you know, high quality as far as like they lock on and everything like that. And even the little brush bristle protectors here on the ends are a lot thicker and a lot sturdier than most that I've seen out there. I mean, you could tape them on there, but I don't really think you would have to. It also comes with a little brush beam here in the foil that's burned out and everything like that. But I already have one right here, so we're just going to use the one that I already have. So here they are. They're not exactly focusing the best because the rangefinder's having a hard time bouncing off of the surface there and figuring out where it's supposed to set its depth. But there you go. You can kind of see all the bristles and stuff. And for coming right out of the tube, you know, it's not exactly the best point, but a little fixing with the brush in the mouth, like we all do, I'm sure, will get you that nice point right there. And these all have a really great snap. And I mean, they've cleaned up. I've been using them for about a month now. They clean up perfect. I, of course, use a little of the Gentastic cleaner from Monument Hobbies on all my brushes. I've been able to save a bunch. If you haven't seen that video, well, I'll probably link it below or perhaps in the featured pop-up as well. But so this is the set. And like I said, it's a little bit different sizing than the Monument stuff, but I still feel like, you know, they're very, very useful from the double aught on or from the triple aught on up to the size 2. I've actually used the size 2 probably the most out of any of these here as of late. So speaking of which, here's your size 2, and we're going to compare it to the Winsor Newton, which is just the normal Series 7 miniature or Series 7 regular brush right there. And you can see they're very, very similar, almost the same length, very similar tips and points. Both have pretty good snap still right there. And then this is the normal Winsor Newton, or actually that was the Series 7. This is the miniature version, so it's a little bit different, but about the same size brush overall. And let's grab one of the bomb wicks. Okay, and here is one of the igniters, or I think they called them long wick at the time. Now they're red handled. I got a, I guess you want to say preview or prototype copy a few Adepticons ago. From Slow Fuse, and well, there it is right there, and obviously very similar as well. Maybe the clamps are kind of connected a little bit differently, but overall, you know, like I said, great spring, great points on both. I love all of these brushes, and I'll continue to use them. However, let's show you how well this Lance brush here from Game Envy performs on a miniature. So we're still working on all of our Deathcore riders. So there's a lot of these guys. Don't get mad at me. I know it's been like a year, but you know, we break them off in small manageable chunks and we knock them out where we can. And speaking of knocking things out, I broke this spear off, so I had to trim it down a little bit. And you can see right here where it snapped out of his hand, and there's a little bit of exposed metal. So what I wanted to do was take a little bit of this paint right here, and I mean, like I said, great tip right there, very good spring. And all I'm gonna do, I like pulling towards me because it gives me a lot more control, I feel like. And I'm just gonna get in there. Remember, this is the number 2, so this is a decent size brush for that size of detail right there. And I'm able to just successfully get in there and really lay down the color. It's gonna hold a lot of paint on the bristles here. Gives me a good point every time. I can twist it right on the palette itself, and boom, I'm back in the game right there. So let's tighten up some of that gray too real quick. And now we're gonna lay down some grays right there as well. Throwing a little on our brush and pulling towards us to try to maintain control and not mess up the metal we just did. I think I lost his thumb too, which is very sad. And that worked perfectly. Lots of touch-up work to do on that right there, but I think we're good. And for such a large brush, but I like it because it fits in my hand very well, and it gives me lots of areas to kind of hold onto it right there. That definitely worked out. Now, I've also been using the number 2 to apply the wash to these guys as well, because my normal kind of chisel wash brush is too much. It's too big for something like this. So I've been using the biggest brush they had to apply the wash. So let me show you some of that too. So I just mixed up a few drops of strong tone, dark tone, and 1 drop of flush tone here from Army Painter Quick Shade. and a drop or two of flow improver, I forget. And what I like to do is take the end of my brush, which probably isn't a good idea, but that's why I always rinse it off, and I'll mix up my wash, believe it or not, into here. Now I would add more flow improver if I was doing a glaze, which I will do for their armored jackets right there. I'll thin down some dark tone pretty thin, but I'm just gonna load up these bristles. Look at how much I'm able to pull up right there of this wash. It's amazing. And then I'm just gonna kind of hit those surfaces on that are armor, and we're just gonna wash them out nice and thin, and you can see it's applying very well. I still got a big chunk on the bristles right there. Whether it's regular paint or wash, this number 2 holds a lot of paint, and that's why I love it so much for this close-in work. But I would definitely use more of a chisel type brush if I was doing something with a little bit more area on top of it right there. But this works out pretty good for all of these sort of applications right here, where you're working with infantry or I guess cavalry size stuff. So there you can see I finished up all the washing from the tip of the spear right there onto all the metal areas, the greaves, the helmet, the chest plate, the back part of the armor plate, and all the rest, everything in between that needed a wash. It's very easy to apply it accurately with all the number 2. It holds a ridiculous amount of wash or liquid or paint, depending on what you're doing, and everything just kind of flows into there, and it's very easy to use, whether you're using it to touch something up or to apply some washes right there. So I mean, if you can use the number 2 brush that well, imagine what you can do with the triple aught, the double aught, the ones, all that stuff. So great set of hobby supplies, and like I said, they come with a little brush beam, and then, you know, like as I put down this brush over there and it mashes down the bristles like I should be using the brush beam right here, because that is literally what it's for. Speaking of brush stuff, let's take a look at the brush bastion. So this is a neat little product. It's full acrylic here. It's definitely got a little bit of a gloss finish there, and you can see they've laser etched our logo into it, and we put a little bit of white paint in there. It doesn't normally show this well, but if you put a little paint in there and just kind of take a paper towel, well, then boom, you have now highlighted your brush bastion as well. So it comes in retail packaging, which I don't seem to have. Oh yeah, here it is. Have handy, and comes with a sticker in it as well, and it'll be right in there. You have to actually put it together. The thumb screws are very easy to use. I know they're hard to see right here, but they're very easy to use. And then you can just basically put it together whichever way you want. Like if you're going to lay it down, you might want to flip the logo around, or if you're going to leave it standing, well, you can do that too. And I guess size wise, it's about 4 inches wide. Yeah, about 4 inches wide, about 5.5 inches tall by about 3 inches deep right there. So it's, you know, it's not going to take up a whole lot of space, but you got to remember that there's, you know, you're going to be putting brushes on the side there, so you don't want you want to make sure you have enough clearance to grab them out depending on what you got going on. Like I said, it's very sturdy. It's not just gonna, you know, you're not gonna hit the table and then this thing falls over or anything like that. And then of course, if you got more space and you want to do something like this, you can just lay them down as well. So pretty much whatever you want to do. Now, if you're a supporter of ours over on Patreon, chances are you're going to get one of these in the month of October from us. So send us a message over there in October if you'd like to get one of these towards your monthly shipment. I think it's also quarterly shipment time over there. So if you haven't checked out our Patreon, well, it's a great way to support all the stuff we do here to help bring you all of these great hobby products and new companies out there, so that you can hobby stronger every day with companies like Game Envy right here. So that is about it for this one. I hope you enjoyed our well, not really unboxing review, but our review and use of their really great set of brushes right here. Also the brush bastion, which I think, I mean, together, I don't know what else we need out there as far as like brushes go. Like I said, I've been using these for about a month and I can't say enough good things about them, but they're the same price point as a lot of other things out there. So again, at the end of the day, all you got to do is vote with your hobby dollars, whether you like something or not. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our videos.